we don't overcome these problems. We just hide them. Oh, we're good. We must have fit. If you have like EAP, which is Employee Assistance Program, or you talk to a psychologist, a therapist, a counselor, they're gonna tell you just because you hit it, that doesn't mean it goes away. Like, yeah, what's one internal battle you've been avoiding? Early, you learn how to hide your emotions. Your life is more important than any agency out there. The solution is working on yourself. That's literally like, want you to be, people don't need you to be perfect. They need you to be present. They just need you to show up.
I was going to ask you, for every officer that listened, what was one action step they can take in the next 24 hours? Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the human side with your girl, Officer Jill. I am excited for my next guest. His name is Michael Laidler.
Close enough. Well, we'll just go with Michael. It is Laidler. It is Laidler, but I mean, I accept my fate. So people introduce me on stage, Jill. They're like, Laidler. I said, just call me Mike. And they're like, I could do that? Yes, because it's a lot of people. I'm like, I said, you're gonna no matter what. People have been saying it wrong since I was 5 years old. So
let me tell you, and I purposely listened to your videos to make sure I understand it right. Yeah. And clearly I got it wrong.
It doesn't.
Laidler. Yeah. Tell me, is it Laidler?
Yeah.
Laidler. Okay, that's what I thought.
People overthink it. Yeah. It's usually they skip the I in there, or they skip the second L. I accept my fate though. Okay. Long as like my grandmother said, just don't call me late for dinner. I'm good.
Just don't call me. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's our old school. We go take it back. So
thank you so much for coming. I know you have a wealth of knowledge. You've been teaching across the world on leadership, and as you say, winning the battle between your ears. Right. We're gonna jump right into it.
Let's do this.
I know you have 20 years of law enforcement, and you teach to Fortune 500 companies. I want to get as much as I can out of this
to take it on.
Hour,
this for the audience. Just let's make it work for them. It's important.
Yes, sir. So let me ask you this. So you've extended your career around leadership, right? Personal development and helping people confront what happens between the ears. If you had to choose, what are you most proud of today?
Raising my son. A lot of times what ends up happening is, and this, I started at 19. I was actually a street cop in Tallahassee, Florida at the age of 19.
Okay.
And now I've carried that for 20 plus years, working with the Border Patrol, working with the federal prisons, like just working a lot of places. But because of what we do in this industry as law enforcement officers, whether you're sworn, non-sworn, if you work in a police department or a sheriff's office or a prison, you're law enforcement, right? And a lot of people don't realize that. They're like, well, they don't have the title. They're not sworn. Trust me, you're dealing with the same headaches, the battles, the struggles. But we forget what we go home to. And I think a lot of times we get so boggled down with 40, 50 hours, 60 hours a week dealing with the stress that when we get home, we don't leave enough for them.
Right.
So for me, growing up without a father and always wanting that connection and seeing just our community, because one of the downsides with law enforcement is we see people on their worst days. And I can remember going to so many different house calls where kids were without fathers. Mm-hmm. Working in the prisons where I read their background and they're raised without fathers.
Yeah.
So for me, my proudest work is and always will be just being a father.
Yeah.
Because being there for my son, that's actually, like we said, that's why I'm in LA. I know we talked about in the green room, like I'm here because my son's run group was doing something in LA. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go too. And you know what? I told Jill that I would be here in January. I canceled at the last minute. That was Michael Laidler's fault. But I was like, you know what? My work, just seeing him grow, develop, and being able to be a mentor and his father is my most important work over anything I do. And for anybody that has loved ones, pets, whatever they want to do, that's always going to take you higher than any career work that you do. Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, we're defined by accolades, accomplishments, titles, financial benefits, but what we do for our family, to me, that supersedes everything.
Yeah. Does your son want to go into law enforcement?
He's never talked about it up to this point.
No?
Okay. He hasn't talked about law enforcement, military, and whatever he does, and I have a lot of friends, obviously, in law enforcement. They're like, I don't want my kids to do this.
Yeah, I hear that often. And I don't have kids. But if I did, and hopefully when I do, I want to encourage him. It's a great job. Do you feel that way? Do you feel that if he chose to go into law enforcement, would you be a little apprehensive? Like, you know what, son, maybe not.
Depends on where he goes.
Okay.
Well, my dream when I first started, because I actually started my dream of being law enforcement on back in June of 1994.
Okay.
And that was something that happened here in LA.
Okay.
The O.J. Simpson trial.
That's right.
That's what drove me to law
Absolutely.
enforcement. So yeah, that was
Okay.
I was sitting in Miami, me and my family watching the TV, live from LA, police chasing a white Ford Bronco. Man, I was so excited, man. We were hyping. You know, back then you didn't have that. We didn't have social media.
No, that was the
So
first real.
yeah, whatever's on the news
Yeah.
was on the news. That
Yeah.
newspapers, I mean, that's
Yeah.
kind of delayed. But
Yeah.
I remember from that point forward, I wanted to be in this profession.
Yeah.
So to me, for him, it's all about where he would select to go. Like, would I want him to come to LA Sheriff's Department or LAPD? Oh, I don't know about that one. That or
Okay,
or
I gotta ask,
NYPD or
why
Miami
not the big?
PD.
Why not the big agencies? Is it the danger? Or
Absolutely.
is it? Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
that's fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, because it's not, and people are like, well, there's danger everywhere. I know,
Yeah.
but when you have the second largest population in the country here, or the first population in New York, it's a higher chance. Not saying you can't be in the middle of Arizona
Yeah.
and there's no crime.
Right.
That's naive to think that. But if you're looking at the chance of something happening, obviously
They're
it's
greater.
yeah.
They're greater here in LA.
But knowing him, if he's like me, he's gonna say, "I want to do LA." I mean, that's what I wanted. Like, I wanted to be a homicide detective for in LA. That's what I want to do because of the OJ Simpson thing. I never got a chance to do that.
Yeah.
But knowing his level of energy and what he likes to do, it'll be my luck that he takes the biggest police department he can find and the greatest ones that are in this state and New York and say, "This is what I want to do." Chicago,
Right.
I'd have to I can't let him do Chicago.
Chicago is a beast.
Yeah, there's
right?
no way for Chicago. Yeah,
Yes.
I watch Chicago PD faithfully, and if it's anything accurate like it says it is, especially what we see on the news, it's just too much
No,
going on up
thank you.
there. Like, I have great people up there. I actually love the state of Illinois.
Yeah.
For my speaking business, they
Yeah.
treat me well.
Yeah.
But that Chicago,
Okay.
Illinois area, I don't know, man. That makes me sweat.
We'll see. Well, listen, if he's thinking about it, tell him to holler at me. Well, we'll get him. We'll get him going.
Oh, I have too many friends in law enforcement right now. Trust me,
We'll
if
get
they
him
watch
going.
there, I have like sheriffs, chiefs that
Right.
are friends, and I know if I can call them,
Yeah.
I know I can easily find him somewhere. And it's like I said, I love law enforcement.
Yeah.
That's why I still do it. And
It's
you know,
it's awesome.
sometimes people think that us as law enforcement officers that we run away from this. No, it's just it is kind of crazy to keep doing some of the things we've seen, some of the
Yeah.
things you see on a daily basis, but it's worth it.
Okay, so since we're talking about how you grew up, you saw OJ Simpson on TV and you're like, oh, I want to do that. I want to chase the white Bronco on the streets of
Oh, I was looking for a white Bronco everywhere.
right?
Let's-
What was one of the things that I talk about is one of my missions actually is to hopefully change the perspective of law enforcement within the community, both with the officers and with the people we serve. And obviously, you're Black, I'm Black. Unfortunately, the relationship between these two communities haven't been the best, right? What was your perspective growing up as a young Black kid? What was your perspective?
I was very fortunate and blessed growing up in Miami, Florida. Now, where I grew up, and people think where I grew up, there was the school I graduated was probably overall 2,000 people, about 2,000 kids, and out of those, I think we had like 10 white people.
Okay.
So it was mostly Black and
So you grew up
Hispanic.
in a predominantly
Black, Black.
a minority
Yeah,
community.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so there was, I mean, especially where I went, there was Jamaicans, Haitians, you got Cubans, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans. I mean, you name it, it wasn't white. But it was not. It wasn't. It's true. And if they were white, they were Hispanic.
Okay.
Like there was like no in between. It wasn't like, hey, you're from Poland or England or Europe. No, if you're white, you're probably
Okay.
like you're Hispanic or Latin of some sort.
In Miami, all right.
Yeah, Miami. At least that part. But that's
Right.
that was the part I grew
That
up in.
general
Now,
area.
if you go to other parts of Miami, they're like, oh, it's all white there, whatever.
Yeah.
But I didn't have. I can't remember any single negative experience that I ever had myself. And I didn't grow up in the nicest of areas. I mean, a lot of time, we grew up in cities, and people from Florida know I grew up in cities like Opelika, North Miami, Miami Shores, unincorporated Dade. Nobody really knows what that means besides people that live there. But it wasn't like I grew up in the Aventura, which is a high-end area, Coral Gables, which is like I grew up in an area where a lot of people don't make it out of, like financially or life purposes.
Okay.
But for me, I never had it. Maybe that's because I went down a certain path. I really think it's because of my mother. Because what she instilled early was obviously respect, do the right thing, care for others. And while those things don't sound like measurable like behaviors, when you do that, it keeps you out of a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, think about who we deal with. Think about the people we deal with on a daily basis. it's usually some behavioral issue going on with them or something wrong with their mindset, and we have to respond to the calls.
Yes.
And for me, I never put myself in a situation to kind of find myself like on the other side of the law. Not, I mean, so that I didn't hang with questionable people, and people are like, "Well, what does that mean?" That it's what it is.
Right.
If your friend,
You know what it means.
if your friends are questionable, you know who they are.
Exactly.
If you have cousins that do certain things and you hang out with them,
yeah.
if you drive certain people in your car, if you ride with certain people in your,
You know when people are hot. You know when they're
exactly. I tell people, and I tell my son this all the time, and he doesn't have any friends like this, thank goodness. But you're not dumb.
Yeah.
You know when something's not right. Now, if you choose to put yourself in a situation and you find yourself in front of law enforcement, you better do the right thing, whatever that looks like. Because at the end of the day, like I said, I've worked in prisons. A lot of people haven't worked in prisons. There ain't no friends there.
Right.
Everybody's out for themselves, and they will tell on you. They will
save their behind.
They will say, and because they have to live there. And people don't get, they're not getting the family phone calls. They're not getting the money, the emails. It's like once they get locked up, it's there. So people are like, oh, I want to protect my people.
Yeah.
I think those days are over.
Yeah.
And even just talking to some of the inmates I've talked to, especially at the federal level where they have 10, 20, 100 years, they're like, I wish I'd have had better friends. I wish I'd have made better decisions. So for me, I don't have, like I said, because I haven't personally experienced some of that from a civilian standpoint, I haven't experienced like that negative treatment. I mean, I've had friends tell me stuff, and obviously you see the videos, and I'm not saying I haven't seen it in the law enforcement level, or I haven't kind of seen how certain people got treated differently than others. But growing up in Miami, like I said, I stayed out of that light, which is really good. It was close a few times, Joe. I'm telling you, I had to make some life choices. Like if I saw like this person, I was like, yeah, I think I'm just gonna stay home and play with my Legos. Like I'm gonna play with my toys or action figures, as I used to call them.
I'm
like,
gonna ride my bike the other day.
Yeah. And then I had a grandmother. If she didn't see me after like an hour, she was yelling.
Yeah.
Like, where am I at?
Right.
Like, and we knew not to go further than the block.
Yeah.
Like we weren't like I wasn't out on the streets. Like, and a lot of it's upbringing. So like my experiences, I never truly had a bad experience. I mean, I got a couple of speed tickets here and there when I was a teenager, but I never was in a situation that we see more on social media.
Right.
Well, at least the highlighted the rare situations that happen, like percentage wise, was it 0.1 or something like that?
It's very low. I think it's more than people think. Very less than what people actually think it is.
I agree.
It's heightened on social media, unfortunately. But okay, so you and obviously that helped help you want to become an officer, not having that negative. So
absolutely. I like I said, I always had the positive outlook. Like I mean, it was always something I was very lucky about. Like I said, I never had anything negative, and most people in my circle didn't really have anything because we stayed away. Now I'm not saying I didn't have family that was questionable. I'm not saying all that now.
Look, I was actually just joking with my siblings the other day. My nephew, he just graduated college, and he's applying for who is it that takes care of the president? What's the agency?
Secret Service.
Secret Service.
Yeah.
There you go. He's applying for Secret Service, and he's filling out his background, all this stuff. And I was talking to his sister, and she's like, "He has to fill out all this stuff." I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "And I'm telling everybody because I did."
Yeah.
In my background, I told on everybody. My cousin does this. My brother does this. You know what I mean?
They're gonna find out.
Yeah,
Like you're trying to protect somebody else that has no clue. And when you deal with especially things like Secret Service, when you're talking about
they know
top secret clearances and above, they know what your blood type is already.
100%. I said they probably listen to your phone right now, just so you know.
Yeah, seriously, yeah.
But yeah, okay. Well, that's good. That's good to know. And we'll talk more. I know you mentioned your mom, and I want to talk more about, there was an incident that you talk about how it shaped some of your thoughts, probably not in a good way. But let's kind of go into what I watched a few of your videos, and I hear you say, use this phrase, winning the battle between the ears. What does that battle actually involve? Like what, if you could break that down for someone who maybe just being introduced to you and they hear him and they say, he's something about winning the battle between the ears. What does that mean?
So for me, usually when I talk about that subject, which I talk about all the time now, I pose this question at every keynote, every webinar, workshop, seminar, whatever it looks like. It's what's one internal battle you've been avoiding? And for most of us, we're all dealing with something or running from something or acting like it didn't happen. And that's the thing that's holding us back. So for me, to at least address it, to at least put a name to it, to verbalize it, it helps your brain go from from struggling with it to how to get over it. And a lot of people don't look at it that way. Actually, and I took this concept from a study from UCLA back in 2007 by Dr. Matthew Lieberman, and he called it emotional labeling. It's
Emotional labeling.
yeah,
Okay.
literally. So I want people to think I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a counselor, but I do
You
read.
can learn from
Yeah,
people
yeah,
who are.
yeah. I read.
Absolutely.
I mean, like, it's like, hey, people go to WM or WebMD and try to figure out what their
Right.
diagnosis. Yeah, you can learn from other people.
Right.
So I took that concept and made it my own, where I call it name entertainment. So
Mhm.
you name something like something that, let's say, people have been through divorce, or they lost a child, or they just didn't get the promotion at work. Well, that might be something that you're dealing with, and if you don't at least label it, how do you get better? How do you overcome it?
Right.
So a lot of that deals with what goes on between our ears. And,
Yeah.
what I find out is a lot of times we want certain success for people, and we know if we trained and taught them and mentored them, we're like, why can't they just get over it?
Yeah.
It's because they're dealing with some battle
Yeah.
that they haven't
Internal.
overcome. And until the person addresses it, they will not overcome it. It's a hard brain thinks, and we can't grow from it. So for me, that's one thing I told myself, like, all right, if I'm trying to get better at leadership, I'm trying to get better at accountability, I'm trying to be just a better father, what would be something that can be holding me back? Now, I don't live in that moment, because I think that's a tough area to live in, but I address it, and how do I build from it?
Yeah.
And like I said, a lot of us are dealing with things, and
Yeah.
a lot of us are still dealing with things from our childhood.
Mm.
And it's because, especially as law enforcement, if anybody's like me that started pretty early, you learn how to hide your emotions. You know what I mean? Because that's what like, we get to a scene, we get
Yes.
to a prison cell, we deal with anything that's
Mhm.
not us.
Mhm.
People don't want to see weakness. They don't want to see vulnerability. They don't want to see someone that hasn't overcome an issue. So we don't overcome these problems. We just hide them.
Yeah.
And then we're like, oh, we're good. We must have fit.
Yeah.
No. If you have like EAP, which is Employee Assistance Program, or you talk to a psychologist, a therapist, a counselor, they're going to tell you, just because you hit it, that doesn't mean it goes away. Like, yeah, like, and people are just like, well, that happened to me 30 years ago. Or, man, this is the one thing, and I don't want to get too far of a tangent. This is what really messes me up when I hear leaders, people say this to each other. Why can't they just get over it?
Yeah. Yeah.
How am I going to tell you what you're dealing with and how to deal with it? It's like naive as a person to say, well, you had that happen. That was 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Why aren't you better yet? But that same person, they haven't dealt with something 20 years ago because they hit it. So for me, when in the battle between the ears, it's looking at things that we've been through and trying to figure out how to grow from them.
Yeah.
Like, so a lot of things I talk about now, the reason why I talk about them so well is because I've already went through them. And now I can say, oh, when you deal with these difficult conversations, if you're struggling talking to one of your employees right now or someone on your team, maybe it's because you don't have a relationship with your father.
Right.
Maybe you haven't overcome an issue with your child or your sibling, your spouse. And until you fix that, you're not going to be able to have those difficult conversations. And trust me, difficult conversations come.
Yeah.
And the people that I see that react the best and they handle them the best is people that's already worked on themselves.
Right. 100%. And it's funny you say that. I had that exact conversation about telling people that they should get over something. I had this conversation with some of my coworkers or my boys, right?
Yeah.
And this was actually, I think it was during, I don't know, one of the riots, and we're just kind of, waiting, standing by to be sent out where we're gonna go. And we're just talking about all the things, right? And he made that statement, and I'm like, I kind of explained to him when he said, they just gotta get over it. I was like, okay, what if you stub your toe? And I was giving a very basic example.
Yeah.
You stub your toe, right? It hurts. We all know it hurts. You stub your
Mhm.
toe, you're like, oh my gosh, the worst pain
Correct.
in that moment. And I tell you, dude, just get over it. It's fine, right? And I can't tell you. Basically, I was trying to give him an example of, I can't tell you how to feel. You're feeling it.
Correct.
You feel the pain. I think it's not a big deal. It's just a toe, bro. It's this big. Right?
You got 4 other ones.
Right.
Use the rest of them on your foot.
Exactly, bro. Get over it. Move on. I can't physically tell you what the pain that you're feeling. Just to kind of give them a tangible idea of what that phrase means to people. But yeah, when you said that, it just connected and took me back to that conversation. It's so true. And people apply that to everything. People, members in the community apply that to officers. Just get over it, right?
Yeah.
And vice versa. And I think it's something we need to stop and really think about. Like, hey, this is affecting this person. Have some empathy, right?
Yeah.
One of the things I get to do, I'm very fortunate I get to teach at work, and one of the classes that I get to teach is emotional intelligence.
Absolutely.
And we focus on self-awareness and empathy and all these different things. And I love to provide that information and encourage officers to kind of think deeper.
Mhm.
Think deeper. I agree 100%. And so you spoken and you just mentioned it that we've been trained to hide
Mhm.
fear and shame. Like literally as officers we are, right? Because and I'll be honest, if I call the police, I don't need you showing up crying.
Yeah.
I need you to handle what's gonna happen.
You don't expect someone to be broken when they
I
get
don't.
there.
I don't.
Yeah.
I called you to help me, right? And I mean, for me, I'm probably gonna respond differently because I am a cop, right?
Yeah.
But family members, they want you to respond strong and ready to handle whatever the issue is. Obviously, we're taught in the academy. You mentioned how you were taught that well before going to the academy.
Mhm.
Can you share that story with us? How were you discovered that I was taught this a long time ago, and it's just been reinforced via
Yeah.
the police department and what I do?
Yeah. Yeah. Back when I was a teenager, one of the things that happened with me was my mother suffered from depression,
Okay.
and she was hospitalized. And the first time I ever seen her in that situation, it broke me.
Mhm.
And I can remember sitting in my car afterwards, just saying, man, all the stuff we've been through, homelessness, not having food, sleeping on people's couches, like boiling water just to take hot showers. And how did I miss this? And growing up in Miami at the time I was 16, thinking that now I'm the man of the house. That's
Yeah.
what I told myself.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I can't let anybody see this. Like, this isn't what society wants. So I gave myself a self-built emotional armor. Like, I did that. And I started to carry that. So when she suffered from more depressive like episodes, I was like, oh, it's just life. Should be all right. Not realizing that I was just burying myself more in trauma. I was burying myself more in emotion. And the fact that I wasn't letting that out and talking to people, it wasn't like it was going away.
Mhm.
It was like I just kept burying it deeper and deeper. So for me, I think sometimes society doesn't realize the pressure that it puts on us, especially as a black male.
Yeah.
Like it's one of the things that people don't realize. Or if you're just the only male in your family, your household,
Right.
like it's a lot tougher. It's hard. I can never measure it. I'm sure there's some psychologists and researchers that have some studies that's built around it. But for me, it's like if you have an alpha mentality, you're gonna do your best to not let anybody know you have a bad day.
Yeah.
And then for me, like this happened to me at 16. So by the age of 19, when I'm going through this 6 months of academy,
Mhm.
it's like they're not, they're not, and they did say leave home at home and leave work at work. They do
Yeah.
say that. They did.
Yeah.
I guess they did say that. But I don't think they meant it negative. I think they meant like, hey, when you get to your scene, like they want you to
time
be
to go
that
to work.
dog.
Yeah,
They
go to
want you to
work.
they want you to be the man. They want you to be the woman. They want
Yeah.
you to get there and say, hey, I got the badge on.
Yeah.
This is my house.
Yeah.
Like that's what they want. But what was being like reinforced at that time was if you struggled with a call at 4 p.m. and then you have another call at 5 p.m. that's similar, you better already be over with it.
Yeah.
And in law enforcement at all levels, that's what people deal with all the time.
Yeah.
And it's hard for people on the outside. I think it's harder for people on the inside to realize it because we make it almost like and I think we've got a lot better in 2026.
Yeah.
But we still have situations where it's almost like, oh, you can't handle the job.
Right.
And it's like,
Kinda
it's just your
shame that-
brain. Yeah.
yeah,
Like shame. You're
yeah.
like it's shame. And it's like, so
Too much for you.
yeah. So yeah, you create that fear of shame because now you're like, well, I don't want to go tell my partner that
Yeah.
I saw this happen to this kid or something happened to this parent or this. And I'm
weak.
and I'm weak. I'm suffering. And a lot of time it goes once again, it goes back to what happened in our childhood
Mhm.
or things that happened to us previously. And we haven't started working on trying to build from it.
Yeah.
So when we run into the same situation again, we're already broken and we're like, well, I'm just gonna stay broken.
Yeah.
Like it's like it's like having a piece of glass and saying, rather than go get it fixed, you're just gonna keep letting it break. And that's how we kind of treat ourselves. So for me, it started when I was 16, that I go back to, and it was just growing up in the community that I did that made me say, okay, this isn't what they want. I never had anybody come up to me and say, Michael, you should be working on your feelings. Michael, or Michael, you should be hiding what's going on. No one ever said that. And because people usually aren't that blatant.
Yeah.
Law enforcement's a little different. Like we're kind of told that in
Right.
some ways. And
Right.
most of the people that watch it, especially your law enforcement audience, they're like, yeah, they did.
Yeah.
They try to sugar. We've done better at making it a little bit more
We're trying to normalize it. We're not there yet, I
Yeah.
don't think.
I was going to say softer, but normalize is a
Softer.
much better word. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. That's a much more
Not
psychological
there.
term. Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
But because it's like talking out of both sides of our mouths.
Yeah.
It's like, we'll tell you, A, it's okay to show emotions, but then as soon as you do, where does it
Right.
get to where you can't handle the
Right.
job? So it's still that fine line. And I've had leaders, especially like executives, that when I speak at conferences, they'll say, we see an employee struggling like mentally,
Mhm.
but then when we address it,
Mhm.
where does it get to the point to where we have to think about removing them?
And you know what? And I know that is one of the biggest fears that officers have, right?
Mhm.
Why they don't
Correct.
come forward and say, hey, you know what? I'm struggling. I'm going to lose. And they think if they do that, they're going to have their gun taken. They're going to be stuck on desk duty and all that kind of stuff. How as officers, what can you say to officers who are thinking, you know what? I am struggling, but I'm feeling exactly what you just said. If I say something, right, to the leaders, they're going to approach it in a way that's going to keep me out. What would you say to an officer who is struggling in that way, who's debating whether they should say something or not, but they're afraid to because of what could potentially happen?
If you don't trust your leadership, leave that organization.
Just leave the organization.
Go somewhere else.
Okay, you have 10 years, 12 years invested.
How many agencies do we have in the state of California?
Oh, there's tons.
Can you? I don't know this. I don't know this fact, so I'm going to ask you. Can you transfer your retirement to other agencies in the state?
Not always, no.
But you can.
So the sheriffs, they're county, right? Because I think they have CalPERS, which is totally different than the city organization. You can't transfer it. What if that's not an option? Let's take that off the table, because what I find, most officers that who are not happy with the agency they work for, they're invested financially, right? They're invested. They can't just leave.
Why can't they?
There's a lot of money left on the table. A lot of times.
Do you know how much money's out in our society in America? You know how much money's in the state of California?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, I would rather live my life and have a life, than struggle and hurt myself or hurt somebody else.
Okay.
You'd
be willing to start over, right? Starting from the bottom, right? You go back to, let's say
let's go back to Ralph's. Let's go work at the grocery store. I just don't know Ralph's was like 3 days ago. That's why I could say, like, I would say HEB being from Texas, but I know there's Ralph's here. I know there's Ralph's, so I'm trying to keep it a California base.
You guys don't know HEB in Texas is the bomb.
They're not ready for it. They're not ready for it.
The Heb is the bomb. Shout out to the Heb.
Yeah, they are not ready. Trust me.
We need an HEB.
Yeah, y'all ain't ready for it.
I would go crazy.
Yeah, y'all.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like Costco, but grocery store version of Costco.
Yeah, they're not ready for it.
Okay,
they're not
we
ready.
just went on a whole tangent.
Yeah.
But okay, so you're saying
you have poor. I would say your agency has poor leadership. This is coming directly from Michael Laidler's mouth. If you are struggling with something emotional and you don't trust your leadership, you're at the wrong agency for you.
Okay.
I'm not even saying there's anything wrong with your leadership, because you may not trust them for realistic or unrealistic reasons. Like, they may not give you a promotion. Now you're like, oh, I don't think I can't trust it.
Right.
That's if that's what you believe, that's fine.
Yeah.
Because I've seen great leadership, and I've also seen poor followers.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's what people don't get. Like, some people like you could have, let's say you have a sheriff, for example. You may have 99 people that love the sheriff and that one that dislikes the sheriff, and everybody thinks it's a bad sheriff. No, it's just that one person doesn't like that sheriff for whatever reason. And a lot of times it's their personal reason. Not saying it's personal. It's just whatever happened to them with that sheriff. Maybe the sheriff didn't open the door, or maybe the sheriff didn't say good morning, or maybe that chief didn't give you the promotion you thought you deserved, and now you dislike them. But I'm saying to the people that have leadership that truly does not support mental wellness, and you'll know. I mean, once again, we're law enforcement. We're very intuitive.
Right.
Like, at the end of the day, we're very insightful. We're intuitive. We recognize, that's what we do. We recognize danger ahead of time.
Yes.
So if you deal with certain leadership, whatever agency you're at, my opinion is, this is Michael Laidler's opinion. If you don't trust them, you should go work somewhere else.
Okay.
Because your life is more important than any agency out there.
That is very true. 100% that your life is more important. I know, and I've had these conversations, like, people are like, yo, I got 15 years, or I got 20 years. I gotta get 10 more years and I'm gone. You know what I mean? They're like, I'm just gonna dig my heels in and push through.
It's burnout. They're burned out. They're They're burned out. And I mean, I'm not, but and then you have to go look at, and I have friends that do. So I say,
Yeah.
okay, what can you do to change your current circumstance? Like,
Right.
why are you burned out? Is
Right.
it actually
Right.
the supervisor's fault? Is
Right.
it the chief's fault? Or is it yours? Hey, let's keep it real. If they're my friend, I'm like, bro, you suck. Like, don't get mad because you keep falling asleep
Yeah.
at 2 a.m. on morning watch. Like, you're on the graveyard
And
shift.
wonder
You falling
why-
asleep, yeah.
Wonder
Yeah.
why the supervisor's calling you
Yeah.
out.
Did you curse that person out? Well, yeah, but stop.
Right.
Stop right there. If you curse the person out, that's your fault.
Yeah.
Now, don't get mad if you get 3 days on the streets.
Yeah.
Like, don't get mad when Internal
Yeah.
Affairs comes and talks to you and say, hey, and they have you on your camera. Thank goodness we didn't have body cams when I was a cop. But if they have you on a body cam video and you're doing something that's against policy, eat it and keep going. Don't be mad at management. Well, they shouldn't have did that to me. You shouldn't have violated policy.
Right.
How about that? How about that? And I say it obviously very general and stuff like
Right.
that because things
Right.
happen. But to me, if you're struggling with something mentally, and this, like I said, I don't even care what law enforcement agency you work for. Just in any part of your life, any organization, the organization is going to run without you.
Absolutely.
It ran before you got there, and it's going to run without you. It's literally, and I love when I see like command staff and executive staff like show their appreciation, but at the end of the day, it's a machine.
Mm-hmm.
The machine has to
Has to
run.
go.
It doesn't matter what chief is there, what sheriff is there, what's under sheriff's there. The machine's going to run. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
So the best thing we can do as people is take care of ourselves.
Right.
Because when that machine's done with us, who's going to be there waiting for us?
Mhm.
I promise you it's going to be your family.
Absolutely.
And I
Yeah.
at this point in my career, my life, I'm 40. I go to so many retirement parties of wardens, and they're not like, man, I wish I was able to do another report. I wish I was able to go to another after action.
Right.
They say, I wish I had more time with my
Yeah.
family.
Yeah. And okay. And that's 100% true. And so let's go back to that scenario. Okay. Because I have a feeling that I know the officers are dealing with this same topic. Leaving is not an option.
Mhm.
Okay. And it may be something that we need to deal with internally.
Absolutely.
What would you say to the officer? What is the first step now? Right. So now you realize you take leaving off the table. Can't
Mhm.
leave. It's
Mhm.
out. It's
Okay.
not an option. How does an officer, I guess, discover that it is something internal, right? Or what should their next step be, right? As in moving forward. Okay, I don't want to live. I don't want to have this career for the next 10 years being unhappy,
Mhm.
right? What does that officer do now to improve the situation? Is it how do they approach it, fixing it with internally, externally? Like you said, some people are bad followers.
Mhm.
What are some things that they can do to identify that and to move forward? I gave you a bunch of questions.
Yeah, no, and there's one answer for it
It's
all.
like a police interview.
Yeah.
They give you 10 interviews.
Yeah.
They give you
Yeah, and trust me, I'm filtering, I'm pushing them all out. Trust me, I used to do investigations too. I can leave that alone.
Right.
That I don't even know what you're talking
First
about.
question is
Yeah.
6 questions
Yeah,
in a row.
yeah. It's something that's going on in that officer's mind right now that they haven't overcome. That's
Okay.
why they hate their job.
Yes. Okay.
And then they're like, well, it's the supervisor. But what is it about the supervisor?
Yeah.
What is it about your own personality that is not allowing you to overcome that other person's character flaw?
Mhm.
Because a lot of times we want our leadership to be a certain way, but we're not that way.
Right.
We want them to be like it's like
Facts.
it's like when we get to a scene, the community expects us to be one way.
Mhm.
When we get to our leader, we expect our leader to be one way. But everybody's people. So that person that can't leave, if you have to say, okay, I have to stay here for 10 years. Okay. What are you dealing with right now that you can work on?
Right.
You can't fix you can't force your leader to be better. You can't force the agency to pay you more. I mean, there's certain things. I mean, obviously, I know talk about unions and stuff, and we can file this, but
Yeah.
what are you doing to create a happy environment for yourself?
Exactly.
Because if you count on them, if you count on the other people, they're always gonna come up short because you have to set your expectations.
Yep.
And you have to do your best to meet them. And
Mhm.
understand that if you don't meet them, what else is there? Because there's always more.
Yeah.
I tell people, if you're breathing, you can get better.
Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah.
If there's breath in your body, if you're alive,
Yeah.
it can always be better.
It may be
Yeah.
some labored breathing at times.
Yeah.
I
You may
understand
have
that.
to hyperventilate for 30
Yeah,
seconds.
yeah.
but-
You may have to get on a ventilator every once in a
Yeah.
while or go get some oxygen. But at the end of the day, I tell people, don't let your environment mess up your attitude. Don't let what you can't control get the best of you. Because can you go change that person's decision, whatever it is, whether it's at work or at home? No, but you can change how you respond to it. And I think a lot of times we forget how much control we have over ourselves.
Yep.
And I was talking to somebody earlier about it. They're like, man, this job I just hate coming to. I'm like, well, what can you do to make yourself what can you do to make yourself happier?
Right.
Well, it's this person. I understand this person. You can't fix that person. That's not your job. What can you do to create a better environment for yourself? And if you say, well, I have to stay here another 10 years, then you already know that's one thing you can't fix.
Right.
Like, you got to stay there, like you said, financially invested. Maybe your retirement's 10 years out
Yeah.
and you're looking at pension and stuff.
Yeah.
What can you do? Maybe change positions. Maybe rather being maybe an investigator, go be an officer, or rather be an officer, go find something that's more suitable. Maybe change your environment, because what is it? Gosh, who is it that they say that when you keep doing the same thing over and over, it's insanity.
I forgot who said it, but I know the phrase, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, and that's what it is. Like we keep going to work, doing the same thing, going to the same roll call, same the mustard, hoping somebody else changes.
Yeah.
We have to change our minds.
Yes.
And we have to approach it differently. Is it easy? No, it's not at all. Like, it takes months, weeks, years to change your mind. But when you see all these people that are happy, they're happy for a reason. I really love when I see it's like two groups of people I like to deal with. Like, I love to see people within like their first 5 years of law enforcement, because they're just super hyper and they're excited, and nothing's probably happened yet, which is good. And then that person that's like in the drop program, or like it's like two, and it's like all of us in between, right? Because that person, like it's the person in the first few years, they're excited. They haven't really been let down yet. Not truly, or not enough to they haven't been let down enough to they're like, oh my gosh, I hate this. They haven't had enough yet. And if one of the things that happened, you got the people like in our group, they're like, yo, you got more. Don't worry about it. Just wait.
Stand by.
Correct. And then the person that drops, like, it doesn't matter what they do, I'm good. And honestly, that's the attitude, especially in law enforcement.
Yeah.
It's a lot to get fired in law enforcement. And with all these people hiring, like all these agencies hiring, I'm not saying mess up. I'm not saying just go out there and go like run your car off a cliff and watch it go down the hill. Like, don't go drive it up to the Hollywood sign and go from there. I'm not saying do all that, but we're very lenient. We do not work in the private sector. The private sector will cut your head off for sneezing, like on a weekday. Like,
you think so? You think it's worse in the private sector?
They're cut when it comes to like releasing you. They're about profits. We're not about profits.
It's true.
We are government. We take money. Like, not many law enforcement makes money. Like, think about it. A patrol officer is not out there. They're not creating an income. They're not creating a profit margin. No. You got these companies.
It's a service.
Let's talk about HEB, for example. They're about making money.
Yeah.
Like, or Ralph's, they're about making money.
Yeah.
So they're more willing to let you go
if it's going to affect their
if it's going to affect the profit margin. Yeah, and that's what I think sometimes we, like, I see it more being a business owner and being a speaker, because now I deal with more corporate audiences, and they tell me. And obviously, I tell people, if you have family that works in corporate, ask them like what the longest tenure person is in our organization. It's not 20 and 25 years. Like, it's like, well, this person was here for 5 years and they went to this restaurant or they went to this business, because they will cut you.
That's very true. A friend of mine, he's like, he's to change jobs every 5 years. And I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Like, why are you changing jobs some more? Like, to me, that meant instability. But in the private sector, he said, no, it's not like that.
They like that. They want you to move. Then they'll kick you out.
Yeah, it's not like that at all. That blew my mind, honestly.
And you can't even get raised. The thing is, you don't even get if you don't go to other companies, like in the private sector, you won't get the same raise. Like, you'll have, like, let's say you stay to one company for 15 years. You'll have new people coming in because they worked at 2 other organizations making more than you.
Right.
Because, so the private sector values, like, you leaving and going somewhere. Absolutely. Now, government, and then, California, it's much different. I know for sure in the state of Florida, and I want to say in the state of Texas now, you can work for any county, municipality, I think even state, and carry over your retirement. So I know Florida for sure, because I asked somebody, and I was just like, because they talked about retention and stuff, and I spoke in front of a few like different chiefs of police of that in one area in South Florida, and they're like, well, how are we going to save retention? I said, well, don't they have to stay here? They was like, they could be in Miami this year, be in Tallahassee next year, same retirement plan.
Well, see that,
so
and
that's why I asked early.
Exactly. That's also it's a little different here. I don't know all the details, obviously, but I'm pretty sure it's a little different. You can't just go bouncing from spot to spot.
When I started in Florida, it was like that. Like, when I started in Tallahassee, it was if you worked for that municipality, You can't just go to Orlando and
Yeah.
now work. And that's what I'm saying. But like I said, so when I talked to front of that group 2 years ago, I was excited. I was like, yeah, they can't leave you. They were like, that changed.
Actually.
I said, oh my gosh. I said, well, you're screwed. But you know, the
That's
reason,
funny.
but like I said, I tell people, like, if you're not excited about your situation and you can't leave, what can you do?
Right.
Like, you could do something else.
Can.
There's always one. But
Can.
you because you gotta, like I said, that's why I love the people in the drop, because they just get to the point to where they're just like, I'm good.
Yeah.
There's nothing that the agency can do that's gonna change
Right.
where I'm at.
And I'll leave it right now.
And honestly, I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't know every chief, every sheriff, but they're not just trying to fire people.
No.
Not in law. Now, ever since 2020, we don't just
They're
have
trying
people.
to find a way to
Yeah,
keep people.
I don't think people realize
Yeah.
what these folks are doing behind the scenes to keep you.
Yeah.
Like, and like I said, since I speak at all these organizations, like, they're literally hunting for people. Like, they be telling me, hey, you want a job? Dude, I'm a speaker.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not here to
Yeah.
come work for your agency. But you know what I mean? Like and people are like, well, they're out trying to get us. No. Most command staff, and that's what my appreciation for them, they're not trying to get rid of you. They're trying to do more.
Yeah.
Most of them. Now, I mean, don't get me wrong.
Not all,
There's
but right.
there's some outliers. Like, you
For
go to
sure.
some of these podunk counties and stuff
Yeah.
and cities where it's like 2,500 people.
Right.
I'm not saying they're all doing the right thing, because we see it on the news. We know
100.
some of those agencies in every
Absolutely.
state. But truly, most organizations are trying to, and I specifically see it at the higher end, because the higher you go, the more you see. Like, you just see the bigger picture, and you don't want to go to your city manager or to the county commission, or if you get voted in, you don't say, oh, we're short 500 officers.
Yeah.
You want to tell people that?
Right.
You rather say, oh, we got so many people out the door
Right.
that we can't fill.
Right.
Like
Right.
we're pushing, like, that's what you want.
Yeah.
And that's what sometimes people don't get. So
Yeah.
I would say, you can't leave. Find something to be happy about.
Yeah.
Happy you have a job.
You're right.
Like, start there. Happy because
Mhm.
I don't know, Jill, I don't know how you travel, but I travel a lot. And
Yeah.
going to
Same.
some of these other countries,
You see, life is different. You see, like, and you know, it's funny. We just experienced that with FIFA here in LA. I don't know if you saw all the videos that people were
we had
posting
people in
online.
Houston.
Oh, well, yes,
Yeah.
right. You guys
Yeah.
said there
Yeah,
too.
we had it together.
And did you see how so many of our international visitors were expressing their love
Yes.
for America? Right, that blew my mind. Right, and as
Because
someone
we have
who,
money here.
and that too, right? Like
We have
the
economy.
simple things of AC.
Political freedom.
We're in that too, right? We're
We
in a
say
heat
some things
wave.
about our politics that you go to these foreign countries,
There,
you
yeah,
go, you will have a knock
100%.
on the door. Hey,
Yes.
we need you and your
Right.
family out here.
What you said.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, I was watching, I was on Instagram the other day, and I don't know, I forgot the guy's name, but it was a quick short video that he posted about how, as officers, we talk a lot about morale, how much it's an issue. And I get it. It is, right? It makes it hard to do your job when you don't feel like you're being supported, and the morale is down. But one thing he said, though, that I loved, he was like, look, we all keep screaming morale's low or leadership sucks and this and that. Do something about it. Like,
Or you can organize your own barbecue at the house.
yeah,
You
do
can you
something.
can have potlucks on shift.
Do
You
something.
can go with your partner and go have a cup of coffee. Why are you not doing some of those
Yeah.
things? Like, why
Yeah.
are you making
Talking
a
about it doesn't change it.
yeah, but and then why are you going around like complaining about it
Yeah.
when you could say, what can I do? What kind of, if I want a person to be a certain type of leader, what can I do to exhibit that behavior?
Yeah.
You go organize something. Don't wait for that person that come in. Well, I'm waiting for my suit. Why?
Yeah.
It's like if you're at home and you're a parent,
Yeah.
you can't, if you wait for your kids to make decisions,
Right.
oh my gosh,
Right.
you
Yeah.
will be running your head through the
For
wall.
sure.
Anybody,
For
any
sure.
person that's a parent knows that you have to create a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, same thing. So when you're at work, be the person that makes the creation. You can be the person that you can be that light that people are looking for. Are
Absolutely.
you going to get some pushback? Absolutely.
100%.
You can be called a brown nose or Uncle
Absolutely.
Tom or
Yep.
whatever that is.
Yep. Oh,
You're-
he's trying to get a promotion.
Yeah.
Whatever, dude. If you're not looking to advance
I-
yourself
I'm
to
always looking
make
for
yourself
promotion.
better, right? And we talked about this before. And I don't know if we talked about what we were talking here before we started. If you are seeking to, or you had a friend that wanted to be a supervisor because
Yeah. So yeah.
he was tired of being led by people who were making bad decisions, right?
So
So-
he became a difference maker.
Yeah.
And he's
So
a great,
be-
and he was
be
my
that.
supervisor. He's a great supervisor.
Yeah, be that. And so, okay, I have so many questions, and I know we can't be here all day. That'd be great. And I want to do a little different. I want to
Okay.
speak to some of the questions or conversations that I have with officers. What was it for you? Was it someone for you that helped you identify that, okay, I need to change? I need to be better with self-development. I need to improve in X. I need to improve in Y. Was it someone? Was it one event? What was it for you, right? That maybe officers can kind of tie to, like, you know what? Maybe I have this mentor that can potentially help me in this area, or et cetera, or something to
George
that.
Floyd.
George Floyd.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. That
Okay.
whole because anybody that was in law enforcement in 2020, we all felt it.
Yes.
And
Yes.
as a industry, we didn't change. Like, meaning like we like the
What
thing
do you
is
mean? As
like
an
like as an industry, like it wasn't like the whole country did something wrong.
Yeah.
But we were all treated like we did something wrong. And what ended up happening is that we had so much toxicity from the inside that people didn't want to come work for us.
Mhm.
And then when our story, or like I don't think people realize like the mentalities that we were creating, like for each other. Like if you go home and talk crap about your job,
Mhm.
and then your kids grow up, they're not going to want to work there.
Right.
Or your friends and family that are looking for, or your cousins or whoever, if you're talking bad about your organization, no one's going to want to work there.
Yeah.
And then I find some people saying, well, nobody wants to work here because you're the one talking smack. When's the last time you went to a recruiting event and said, hey, let's go boost the company up or the agency? So for me, what I saw happen to our industry in 2020, it hurt me.
Mhm.
Because at that point, I was 15 years in
Mhm.
and I still loved what I did. I mean, I was working in the prisons full time and I was going to work 5-6 days a week during COVID. Like,
Yeah.
just seeing officers go through things and it was my passion in that role as a leader to make them better. But then when we started trying to hire more, I started to see how people just didn't like we weren't getting the applications.
Mhm.
And I started thinking, what can I do to change? What can Michael Laidler like increase? And I just started thinking about my life.
Yeah.
And I started thinking, am I being the right the right role model for people? Am I demonstrating the right skills? And then I just started looking at how we were making a lot of decisions based on emotion. And I was like, well, what have I lacked and what do I need to improve on? So for me, self-awareness became very important in 2020 and 2021 to the point to when I started speaking again. Or because I couldn't do it during COVID because I didn't have
Right.
time.
No one. Yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't have time. No, they were still doing I just
Yeah.
didn't have time
Okay.
because I was doing so much work in the prison at the time. Um, I started looking at self-awareness and then I started looking at myself and I wrote a book in July of 2022 called Greatness Beyond the Badge.
Mhm.
And because my self-awareness wasn't at that level yet, it was much better.
Mhm.
I didn't even talk about what happened with my mom. It's nowhere in that book. Now the rest of the
Really?
book is good. I don't. That's not Joe. I don't want anybody to think the book's not good. So if you go to Amazon, yeah, I'm gonna do a little self plug. You go
Yeah.
to Amazon, Greatness
Right.
Beyond the Badge. Go
Yeah.
get you a copy. You're
Yeah.
gonna like it. But what I learned from that is, even with the right tools, sometimes we're still beating ourselves.
Yeah.
And for me, it was the George Floyd thing that kind of catapulted my brain to start thinking like, okay, I'm a leader of other people, no matter if I know it or not. I have influence over others.
Mhm.
So as Michael Laidler, what can I do for myself to make that impact everywhere else? And that's where self-awareness came from.
Right.
And as I kept going down that path, I started learning about burnout, resilience,
Mhm.
failures,
Mhm.
setbacks, uncertainty. And now when I look at it today, I'm like, okay, I can see how I improved.
Right.
And then when I'm mentoring my son, like, and he does something that's not always the right thing to do, like I know how to calm myself down in the moment.
Yeah.
And I see other parents that don't. And you know, so me and my son loves AAU, like basketball specifically. And he's my height now at 13. And we had a tournament a few months ago in Houston. Actually, it was in June. And it was interesting because I know it's not everybody understands this, but sometimes sports is the only way for certain people to get out of their environment. So like people are really, really vested in it. And sometimes when you see those parents blowing up on the sideline, it's because they see what their kid's not doing
Yeah.
and now they're struggling. So this particular day, it was like maybe 5th and 6th graders playing and they got beat. There was there were two teams they played. The one team lost and one team won. That father on that side on the team that lost, he grabbed his son by the shoulder, drug him to the bathroom, and gave him the business.
Woo.
Like when I say he was young, like everybody was watching. We were like all the parents. I mean, he didn't do anything. He didn't do nothing physical that day.
Right.
And I don't know if he did later on. That I didn't see that. But
Yeah.
what I heard in his voice was brokenness when he was yelling at his son because he was so upset with what his son did, not realizing his son's a 5th or 6th grader, that he was projecting his fears to his son. So what that told me was that the father was going through something too that he hadn't overcome. So it was so interesting to see, because I don't want to be that person. I want to make sure that I'm overcoming my battles. So when I mentor somebody, whether it's my son, whether it's a family, a friend, somebody in the community, I know I've already worked through things, because people come to us expecting answers.
Yeah.
No matter what level you're at.
Yeah.
And sometimes people think, well, I'm not a leader. Yes, you are. That doesn't mean that doesn't mean you signed up to be
your
one.
rank doesn't necessarily mean
We all have influence of somebody, and people are always looking to the left and right. Like, even you go to roll call right now.
Yeah.
You can have 5 brand new rookies sitting side by side. I promise you, they're looking at what the other rookies are doing. They're looking at each other.
Yep.
They're like, okay, are we gonna sit in the back? Or are we gonna sit in the front?
Yeah.
Hey, did you put your badge on right?
They better be sitting in the front.
Yeah, they better. Oh, trust me, I get on them too. I'm like, why y'all sitting in the back? Y'all haven't earned the second row yet. Boo comes into the first row. But a lot of that comes from, for me, like I said, a lot of it came from, how do I want to lead others, and what legacy do I want to live? Like what I want to leave. But it took like working on this and realizing that if I didn't look at like the George Floyd incident, or what has been just happening in law enforcement throughout the years, how do we get better? How do we overcome? Like my buddy Vito Mergviglia, when we were both investigators in a prison over a decade ago, and me and him just talked about this last week. He used to say this phrase to inmates, and I understood it, but I didn't really appreciate it back then. He says, you're either part of the problem or you're part of the solution.
Yeah.
He was like, there's no other thing. And he would tell him, because he was trying to get him to flip the CIs. That's what he was trying to do.
Right.
But he was like, you're either in the game or you're out of the game.
Yeah.
And he was like, you need to make a choice. So that's kind of how I am. I want to be part of the solution group.
Yes.
I don't want to be part of the problem. I want to, when people see Michael Laidler, they say, okay, he may not be the best, but he's trying the best.
Right.
He's given his all to make us better.
Right.
Like, he may not know our situation, but when he goes stand up on a stage or in front of a group of people, or just talking to his son in the car, we know it comes from a place of just trying to do the best. So for me, it was that time with the George Floyd incident, and I saw our industry crumbling. Like, that was Michael Laidler's motivation to get better.
I love that. And I think that's a great advice to give to officers. We don't talk a lot about, wellness has become more popular. We're getting
And
better,
I love it. Especially
right?
here in California. I had a whole
Absolutely.
wellness grant. I love it.
Listen.
I got $50 million about 3 years ago. Trust me, I was trying to go to every
You
agency and make
did.
money.
And our gym got upgraded, which I appreciate,
Yeah.
right? Because working out is important, right? It's good for your mental.
It's part of it.
And I love that it's becoming more popular. It's becoming more normal. However, I think there's so much work still need to be done. And I think specifically in this area you're talking about, in self-development. It's not something we talk about. We don't think that it can be so impactful, but I think what you just explained, how you identified, how you wanted to be the solution and not the problem, how much that changed you and how much you've been able to do since then.
Career-wise, I jump off the, if I could tell how much money I make from speaking, and I don't mean to make it, I can financially measure, but it's because I worked on myself. I didn't wait. I didn't wait to get that promotion. I didn't wait to go to that training. I didn't wait for something bad to happen to my family. I took the initiative and I said, hey, today I'm going to be better. Tomorrow I'm going to be great. Next week I'm going to be better than I was today. But it's something consistently that I do that now, obviously, it's taken years to see the benefits, but I want to be part of the solution. And the solution is working on yourself. That's literally like, and people are like, well, I don't have time. Well, that's your problem. Like, you got to figure it out. Like, I can't control you. Everybody in the world has 24 hours a day. Elon Musk only has 24 hours in a day. The presidents only have like your chief or your sheriff. Yes, I was like, not saying that they are perfect, but and I know everybody has different opinions about every president we have, but they didn't get there by accident. Like, they didn't get there because I was like, you know what, I'll be president tomorrow. Like they had to do something even for themselves, whatever that looked like, to get better. So I look at people at those levels. I tell people, whoever your celebrity crush is, or that person you want to be, they didn't become a celebrity overnight. And if you actually talk to them, or if you all actually, you probably won't, if you maybe in LA, y'all get away with talking to these folks. But if you look at their stories, they will tell you what they had to do to get to that higher echelon. They didn't just wake up. David Goggins, I don't know if you listen to his stuff.
He's a little aggressive with language. He's a little aggressive with language, but you're right.
But he'll tell you right now. He says, y'all think I can just run 100 miles just overnight? Like, no, you're effing stupid. Like he'll tell you, like,
to put in the work.
You have to put in the work. And a lot of times we don't want to put the work in for ourselves, and we forget about it. And then when we're struggling, it's everybody else's fault.
Right.
And it's like, well, no, I mean, not saying other people are right,
Yeah.
But we could even be more right with our development.
And I think it comes from so much fear.
Mhm.
I think it's fear of failure, right? Fear of judgment, what people are going to think. And yeah, and I think you kind of mentioned that. And just like you said, the shame, right? Things like that, that we may not connect those two things, but they are. That's kind of it. I was going to ask you if everyone else is listening, what was one action step they can take in the next 24 hours? And you kind of summed it up. But if you could shorten that up, what is one thing, if officers listening, is, you know what, I want to, and we're getting I see a lot of officers becoming more willing to improve themselves and to help other officers, like especially in like fitness,
Generation Z
right?
is amazing.
You see, right?
Yeah,
You see officers all over the place.
I know people say they're lazy, they're entitled. I love some Generation Z because they're my role model on mental wellness.
Yeah, yeah, right. And
Yeah.
they are definitely pushing that envelope. If you're one of those officers who's watching and you're like, hey, okay, I want to start. What is one thing you can say to them? Short and sweet, like they after watching this 24 hours later, what can I do as an officer to start this process of getting better?
So one thing I do tell people in all my presentation now is I tell them this thing, daily habits. So
Okay.
there's a book by James Clear called Atomic Habits.
Love it.
And he talks about if you want to create a new behavior, it takes you on an average 66 days. Like it's not nothing happens overnight. So I tell
Right.
people there's 3 things that I work on daily. 1 thought to replace, 1 battle to stop avoiding, and 1 belief to lead with.
I like it. Okay, 3 again. Say it. What are they?
It's
One
one thought to replace,
thought to replace,
1 battle to stop avoiding,
1 battle to stop avoiding,
and then 1 belief to lead with.
1 belief to leave it.
And I'll make a quick summary on those. So 1 thought to replace, one thing that I struggled with was having the mindset of I don't belong here.
Okay.
For whatever reason, I don't belong at this table. I don't belong in this job. Maybe I'm not the right color. Whatever that looked like, I just thought I didn't belong here. So now I changed. I bring value. Once again, if you're awake right now, you bring value. Whatever you've learned up to this point in your life, you bring value. You just have to find the setting that where you bring value to. 1 battle to stop ignoring. Whatever you thought in your head that something you've been avoiding, it's happened. Stop saying stop pretending it isn't real. Like, stop pretending your mother didn't suffer from depression. It happened. How do you grow from it? And then 1 belief to lead with. People don't need you to be perfect. They need you to be present.
Like it.
They just need you to show up.
Yeah.
Being there is half the battle.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we want to be perfect before we show up for our family, our team, our organization. Just show up.
Yeah.
And then you'll figure it out from there. But don't just hide and run away from problems because you only increase your fear of uncertainty at that time. Just get there.
Yeah. I love that. I love that so much. And Tay, I want to thank you for coming on. I had so many questions I want to ask you. But then we have to stop at some point.
Yes,
And I want to be
absolutely.
respectful of your time. We know that you guys are doing all kind of things, and sitting here for 3 hours may not be what you're gonna do. We could.
Yeah.
Really quick, tell people where they can find you if they want to learn more about Michael. And they want to book you for. Obviously, we're gonna put all of the links for Michael's website, his book.
Yes. Oh, they're gonna know about greatness beyond the badge. I mean, if they do anything today, hey, at least go. Don't click on the sponsored ad because I get charged for that.
Right.
You don't have to go
Alright.
find a sponsor
Straight
ad.
to Amazon.
Yeah, just go straight to Amazon or type in greatness beyond the badge, and it's gonna be like a sponsored ad. Click on the one after that.
There you go.
Yes.
Right. I'm gonna put everything below.
Yeah.
But tell us just really quick your handle. Where can we find you on Instagram, Facebook? If we want to book you.
I've been saying this all year, and I love to say this now. Just Google Michael Laidler.
All right. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah, and I
It's easy.
I do got a website.
It's
It's
easy.
michaelalaidler.com. I'm
Yes.
on LinkedIn, Instagram, where
Yeah.
you and I met. I'm on Facebook. I'm not really on X. I can't really master that yet.
Yeah.
Um,
It is a bit much.
I'm on YouTube. But yeah, if you literally Google
Yeah.
Michael Laidler, I've been blessed now to where I pretty much own most of the first page. There's some guys out there from Europe that still kind of sneak in every once in a
Right.
while. But usually if you look for if you literally type in Michael Laidler today, you'll find pretty much every resource about me on there.
Yes, I love that. And again, I'm gonna put everything on the bottom of the show notes. Thank you again so much.
Absolutely.
Enjoy your
Yeah.
trip here. It's gonna be hot, although I know you're from Miami, so this is
I
like
live in Houston
vacation
right
for
now.
you.
This ain't
Or
nothing.
Houston, right?
Yeah, I was out. We were at Huntington Beach 2 nights ago.
Beautiful.
And I was just like I had on like pants and a polo, and I was like, "Ooh, I have to go get my windbreaker out the car." Shoot.
Stop it.
Yeah, no,
Now-
that you just
now
don't know.
you doing extras.
No,
You're
even
doing
the people
extras.
I went, they were like, "Oh my gosh," because they wore shorts and they were like wearing like not a tank top, but like a workout top,
Yeah.
and they were just like, Yeah, it's chilly. I said, yes, we know. Trust me, y'all. People don't understand. Like, if you go to Houston, it's not as bad as Arizona. But if you go to Houston right now, like about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you're sweating from your car to the front door wherever you're at.
That is so true. I was just there and it was disgusting.
Yeah.
But again, thank you so much for coming on. For those of you who are coming back to watch, check out my other podcasts on all different subjects. And remember, if you show me your human side, I show you mine. All right, y'all. Peace.